My dad sent me a strange text. I shifted uncomfortably in my seat, restless, like I was sitting on pins and needles. My hand reached for the phone beside me, pressing the power button again. No new messages from my dad. The screen showed only the same 3 words he'd sent me 2 hours ago. Come here. Now. After that, the screen was filled with my frantic paragraphs and missed calls, none of them answered. I thought about texting again, maybe calling one more time. Instead, I dialed his landline. It rang and rang until the robotic voice of the answering machine cut me off. With a groan, I tossed the phone into the passenger seat and forced myself to breathe deeply. The air inside the car felt suffocating, like it was crushing my lungs. I rolled the window down all the way. The freezing wind slammed against my face at 120 kilometers per hour, filling the car. I didn't slow down. My foot stayed heavy on the gas as I tore down the empty I-70 highway toward the small town where my parents lived. The only light on the road came from my own headlights. The clock on the dash read 1:35 a.m. I'd left just 5 minutes after Dad's text, and still had at least half an hour before I reached town. My mind was a demolition site of terrible scenarios. What if something happened to Mom? What if they'd been in a bad accident? What if they were lost somewhere with no cell service? The more I thought, the harder I pressed on the gas. The engine screamed in protest. The cold air blasting through the open window was unbearable now, so I rolled it back up. I flicked on the radio, hoping music might calm me down. They say music helps, and for a few minutes it did. I found myself drumming my fingers along to the bass, the panic in my chest fading. Then my phone buzzed. The vibration against the passenger seat cut through the music like a knife. I shut the radio off instantly and snatched my phone. The notification read, "One new message. From Mom." The preview showed only the first 6 words. "Aiden, if you ever get a massage." I had to tap it to see the rest. My fingers jabbed the screen twice, then I entered my password. But the signal out here was terrible. The message wouldn't load. Frustrated, I glanced up at the road for just a second. And what I saw made me fling my phone across the car and grip the steering wheel with both hands. I slammed on the brakes so hard the car screamed, tires shrieking as I skidded sideways across the empty lane until I came to a stop. My first thought, I imagined it. It had to be. I blinked, rubbed my face, then twisted around, eyes straining into the red glow of my taillights. Nothing. Still, I eased the car onto the shoulder and slowly reversed. A few meters back, I saw him. Standing perfectly still in the middle of the road. Head turned toward me. Eyes glowing white in my headlights. Mateo. I slammed the car into park and stepped out. The cold cut through me instantly. "What the hell are you doing out here, man?" He didn't answer. I walked closer. Mateo had been my best friend since childhood. He worked at a garage back in town, while I'd left for college. We didn't see each other much anymore, but we were still close. When I got within a few meters, he finally moved, slowly turning his whole body toward me. "My car broke down," he said flatly. He gestured behind him. A red Ford sat idling on the shoulder. I glanced at it. Mateo used to talk non-stop about how one day he'd buy a motorcycle and ride across the world, with me on the back. A Ford wasn't what I'd expected. But people change, right? I scratched the back of my neck. What exactly's wrong with it? Don't know. It just stopped. His eyes never left me. Not once since I'd stepped out of my car. And his voice, it wasn't right. Mateo always had a deep voice, but now it was deeper, like his throat wasn't his own. I let out a shaky laugh and clapped him on the shoulder. "Look, man, it's freezing out here. Let's leave the car for now. I'm heading into town anyway, you can ride with me, and tomorrow we'll come back and check it out. Sound good?" He only nodded. His expression never changed. Grab whatever you need from your car. I'll wait in mine. Even as I turned my back, I could feel his eyes burning into me. I didn't push it. Just walked back to my car. I was a step from the driver's door when something exploded against the back of my skull. White-hot pain. Someone had hit me. Hard. I collapsed, the asphalt rushing up. I wasn't fully unconscious. I saw the blood dripping onto the pavement beneath me, felt the warmth spreading down my neck. I tried to look back, to see who it was. Then another blow landed, and everything went black. I don't know how long I was out. When I woke, panic slammed into me like a truck. Because I couldn't move. My arms were tied to the chair with thick ropes. So were my legs. My heart thundered against my ribs, shaking my whole body. Before I could even scream, I heard it. Footsteps. Slow at first, almost cautious. Then louder, heavier, echoing in the small space around me. Someone was pacing the room. Back and forth, just out of sight. Who's there? I shouted. No answer. Just footsteps. What do you want from me? Silence. Then, movement in the corner of my eye. A shadow shifted. Shoulders. A familiar build. Matteo. He didn't look at me. Just kept moving, methodically, like I wasn't even in the room. Then he turned. And I froze. Because in his hand was a syringe, the needle gleaming under the dim light. He walked toward me in measured steps. I couldn't even react before he grabbed a fistful of my hair, yanking my head to the side, and drove the needle into my neck. I screamed. My whole body jerked against the ropes. Then nothing. When I woke again, the air was colder. The first thing I noticed was the faint light of dawn creeping through a small, filthy window. The second was the sound. Metal on metal. At first I thought, tools. A drill, maybe. Then the sound changed. Scraping. Grinding. No. It was sharper than that. Like a blade being sharpened. Matteo passed by me without a glance, heading to a steel cart in the corner. A surgical cart, the kind doctors will into operating rooms. On top of it. Instruments. Knives. Scalpels. Things I couldn't name. My body buzzed with static terror. I pulled at the ropes until my wrists burned raw. Nothing. Matteo turned, holding a pair of scissors. What are you doing? I demanded. He reached for me. I flinched back. But he only snipped off a lock of my hair, dropped it into a small vial, and tucked it into his pocket. Matteo. What the fuck is this? Untie me. I screamed. The sound bounced off the walls, pressing back into my ears. He didn't answer. Just moved back to the cart, calmly selecting another syringe. This one was empty. He stepped close, voice flat, mechanical. Relax. Just need a blood sample. If you move, the needle will break off in your arm. My entire body seized with fear. I froze as he slid the needle into my vein, drawing blood. When he was done, he set the syringe on the cart. Why are you doing this? I whispered, my voice trembling. He didn't answer. This time, when he turned back, he was holding pliers. Big ones. No, I stammered. Wait. He didn't stop. The pliers opened around my finger. I thrashed. Screamed. My vision went black around the edges. The pressure clamped down. The pain ripped through me like lightning. My scream echoed, broke, dissolved into sobs. And then, I swear to God, I saw him bend down. Pick something up from the floor. My finger. He held it in his hand. And then I passed out. When I came to again, it was dark. Night. The room reeked of iron and rot. My head spun. I looked down. And almost vomited. Where my finger had been, the bone jutted white through the shredded flesh, the joint barely hanging on, crusted in dried blood. The agony surged back instantly, tearing through me. Mateo, my friend, had tortured me. And now I was going to die here. In his basement. But I'm not someone who gives up easy. I looked at the ropes binding my left wrist. The knot was just within reach. I clawed at it, my trembling fingers working furiously, tearing skin, nails bending backward. The footsteps came back. Running this time. I yanked harder. My fingers slipped. Closer. Louder. My heart pounded so hard it drowned out my own thoughts. I wasn't going to make it. The ropes wouldn't come loose. And when the footsteps stopped right behind me, I broke. Please, I begged. My voice cracked. Don't do this. He looked me up and down. Sweat beaded on his forehead, and when his eyes landed on my face, I saw his pupils dilate. Aiden, so it's you. Are you okay? I didn't know what kind of game he was playing, but I knew I couldn't stand it. The closer he got, the heavier the fear pressed down on me. He must have noticed the worry on my face because he backed away. It's okay. I won't hurt you. As he glanced around nervously, he did something I never expected, he untied me. While freeing my right hand, he muttered under his breath. Did that bastard do the same thing to you? I didn't say a word. When he loosened the last knot, I shoved him away with my body and rose from the chair. Stay back. Relax, Aiden, I'm not him. What? You literally tore off my finger. No. That wasn't me, I swear. He raised his hands like he was surrendering. Aiden, I know your head is spinning. I'll explain everything. But right now, please trust me, your friend, and let's get out of here. A muffled crash echoed from upstairs, like a vase shattering on the floor. Both of us instinctively looked up. Then Mateo turned back to me with wide, pleading eyes. He must be here. We have to go, Aiden. Please. The sound came again, louder this time. Maybe he was tricking me, most likely he was, but I was too weak from the blood I'd lost. I had no other choice. I nodded, and we slipped out the same door he had come through. We hurried down a short flight of stairs and into the main hallway. Mateo led, signaling me to stay quiet. To my shock, he pulled a small pistol from his belt. We didn't speak until we reached the front door and stepped into the garden. He pointed toward an old motorcycle. Get on. Running after him, my patience broke. You said you're not him. Then who the hell was that, and what did he want from me? He didn't answer until he straddled the bike and started it. Just before I climbed on, he pulled out the pistol again. If you see anything dangerous, shoot in my place. I shook my head. Are you insane? I don't know how to use that thing.
It's simple. Take the safety off and pull the trigger. That's all. He shoved it into my hands. I tucked the gun into my waistband and grabbed hold of him as the engine roared. There are things happening here you wouldn't believe even if I told you, he said, his voice muffled through the helmet. What do you mean? I shouted. The townspeople. They're changing. What? It started no more than a month ago. Do you remember Albert? The kid who worked at the gas station. Albert. The same guy we used to steal beers from when we were younger. He hated us for it. But over the years, things settled down between us. I don't know if he was the first, but he was the first one I noticed. His behavior changed. He used to talk, laugh, hang out. Then suddenly, nothing. He stopped speaking altogether. Even when I paid, even when I asked questions, nothing. He just watched. His eyes bulged, blank. I thought maybe he was depressed. Until a farmer found his corpse a few days later. Around 4 p.m., he said. And I swear to you, Aiden, I saw Albert at the gas station at that exact time. Staring at me with those dead eyes. We rode in silence for a while, until I asked, so the one you saw wasn't Albert? The police got involved. The body had no signs of struggle, just a missing pinky finger. A chill ran through me. I felt the phantom pain in my own severed finger. Then it spread. More and more people started acting strange. Whenever I walked down the street, they'd stare with those empty eyes. When I told my parents, they brushed it off as me being dramatic. They'd already forgotten about Albert. They told me to let it go. How could I ignore it, Aiden? Everyone was walking around like their souls had been ripped out. And when my parents dismissed it, I started to suspect they were the same. He paused. His right pinky was wrapped in a bandage, I hadn't noticed until now. I was right. They tied me up. Did the same thing they did to you. Do you know how it feels to have your own parents cut off your finger? The pain is one thing, but the betrayal, his voice cracked. They tried to kill me. Afterward, I saw what they'd done to others. The furniture store downtown, it's filled with bodies. All the people they've killed. My parents, they're in there too. Rotting. I heard him sniff from inside the helmet. Compared to him, I'd gotten off easy. But then a terrifying thought hit me. Mateo, did you see my parents? He hesitated, then shook his head. No. I don't think so. Relief washed over me. Where are we going now? To Kansas City. I'm going to expose these bastards. Before I could reply, I noticed something. Over the roar of Mateo's bike, there was another engine. I looked behind us. At first, the road was empty. Then I saw it. A Ford. No headlights. Red. I knew exactly whose it was. Mateo. I screamed. The car swerved, nearly clipping us. Mateo veered sharply. The Ford pulled ahead, then cut across our path. He gunned the throttle, but the car tailed us close. My palms were sweating, and I started to slip from the seat. What do we do? I shouted. Before Mateo could answer, a gunshot cracked the air. The bullet missed me by inches. Mateo swerved again, but a tire blew out. The bike tipped, sending us tumbling. I hit the ground hard, my head slamming against the concrete ditch. My vision went black for seconds. When I came to, I saw Mateo lying motionless on the road. His helmet shifted slightly, he was alive. A shadow approached him. My stomach dropped. It was Mateo. The other Mateo. The fake raised his gun and fired. My friend screamed as blood sprayed from his hand. The imposter walked calmly toward him, ripped off his helmet, and revealed Mateo's real, terrified face. Then he shot him in the head. I ducked into the ditch, shaking. The fake Mateo was searching for me. He would find me soon. I looked at the fallen motorcycle beside me. At my waist, cold metal pressed against my skin, the pistol Mateo had given me. His words echoed in my head. Take the safety off and shoot. I waited until his footsteps grew close. Then, in one motion, I stood and fired twice. One bullet hit his chest, the other his face. He dropped instantly. I didn't wait. I bolted for the Ford. The keys weren't in the ignition. I scrambled, searching, until I found them between the seats. As I turned them, the headlights flicked on, and there he was. Mateo again. Standing in front of the car, staring at me. This time, his face and chest were caved in where the bullets had hit, but no blood poured out. It was like I'd shot a plastic doll. He raised his gun. Glass shattered as bullets tore through the windshield. I shielded my head, shards slicing my skin. He yanked the door open and dragged me out. His fists pounded my face like steel hammers until I thought my skull would crack. Then he pointed the gun at me. This was it. But the gun clicked empty. Before he realized, I kicked him hard, sending him crashing onto the hood. I dove into the car, slammed it in reverse, and ran him over. Then I shifted forward and hit him again. 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 His body crumpled like gelatin, oozing across the road. But it wasn't human. Not anymore. I sped away, straight to the nearest hospital. I didn't stop. I didn't even think about Matteo. I was too terrified. Because deep down, I didn't believe he was dead. At the hospital, I stumbled inside, barely conscious, covered in blood and glass. I told the nurse to send help to I-70, where my friend was lying. Then I collapsed onto a stretcher. Miraculously, the doctor said I had only a fractured arm and cuts and bruises. They released me after 2 days. The police questioned me about everything. I told them all of it, Matteo, the doppelganger, my finger. They told me Matteo's body had been found. But only one. No trace of the other. When I asked what would happen if it came back for me, they brushed it off. They said the dashcam footage from the Ford was evidence enough. They believed me, or at least pretended to. Outside the hospital, an officer handed me my phone, said it had been recovered from the car. As I scrolled, debating who to call, a gray minivan honked in front of me. I froze. It was my father's van. I climbed in without thinking. My parents sat inside, staring at me. "How are you, sweetheart?" my mother asked calmly. I smiled weakly. "I'm okay. I'm just glad to see you." My father turned to me. "We're taking you home, Aiden." "Home? Back to the town? But it's not safe." Matteo told me. "Home is safe. We're going home." I leaned back in the seat, exhausted. But then I remembered. The text. "Dad, you messaged me. Told me to come to town." Why? "It doesn't matter anymore, son. It's been handled." As I scrolled, I noticed another unread message. From Mom. The one I hadn't finished reading the night this all began. "Aiden, if you ever get a message from your father or me telling you to come to town, don't do it. We already left Kansas. Strange things have been happening there. Call me as soon as you get this. And whatever you do, don't go to the town. Don't answer if they call. I know you're confused, but just know this, they are not us." When I looked up from the screen, my father was watching me in the rearview mirror. My mother slowly turned her head, eyes locking on mine. "Is something wrong, son?" I forced a cough to hide the lump in my throat. "No. Now I'm here. In my old bedroom. The door is locked, but I can hear footsteps on the stairs. They're coming. I think my end will be the same as Matteo's. If someone finds this, if you're reading it near my body, heed my warning. Don't trust the people in that town. I don't know what they are. But they are not us. They are not us. They are."